Have you ever wondered what's going on in those little snippets at the beginning of the chapters in Way of Kings? That's what we're talking about today. Welcome to Cosmere Quandaries, where we talk about all the little snippets in the Cosmere and try to figure out what's going on in Brandon's head. Today is going to start very light spoilers. Literally, the prologue to the Way of Kings has something called an epigraph, and we're going to read it, talk about where they come from. That's where the spoilers will start, and talk about what it might be hinting at. That's where the big spoilers start. So if you just want to know what's going on with the epigraphs, those little snippets before the chapters, let's talk about those first. Now, depending on which Stormlight Archive book, which Cosmere book we're talking about, Brandon's doing something different with each of the epigraphs. In Way of Kings, those start off with something that we call the death rattles. Those are being collected, spoilers for the end of Way of Kings, almost always by Taravangian and his medical team in the city of Kharbranth, where Shallan and Yasna are hanging out. There is an entire group down there basically letting people slowly die so that he can then listen to the final words they say. Now, why is he doing that? Because he has realized that there exists a being or a force on Roshar that in certain areas is causing those who are about to die to glimpse into the spiritual realm and gain access to a vision or a concept of something that may happen in the future. Now, the future is not set in the Cosmere. The possibilities to change the future is always present. People are able to glimpse possibilities of what may happen with greater probabilities and lesser probabilities. With these death rattles, we typically are seeing a scene either from the perspective of someone in the scene or from someone who's kind of seeing the scene from a third-person point of view. Now, that force we learn later is called Moalak, one of the unmade, the 9 unmade that serve Odium as his kind of general forces. Some of them are more like concepts, and some of them are intelligent beings. Moalak does not appear to be a particularly intelligent being, but does have capacity to move around Roshar. We're going to be going through each of the death rattles, talking about what it might mean for the future, if we've already seen it, and what I think it might indicate about where Roshar is headed in Stormlight 5, as well as Stormlight 6 through 10. Remember, we're not even halfway through this series yet. So let's take a look at the first death rattle that appears on page. We will eventually get to one from Wind and Truth many weeks from now that is actually the earliest death rattle that we see chronologically. So let's take a look. The love of men is a frigid thing, a mountain stream only 3 steps from the ice. We are his, O Stormfather, we are his. It is but 1,000 days, and the Everstorm comes. So that'll always be the death rattle that was recorded or spoken. And then there's a little comment. Collected on the first day of the week Pala of the month Shash of the year 1171, 31 seconds before death. Subject was a dark-eyed pregnant woman of middle years. The child did not survive. So these are the notes that Taravangian's assistants made about this particular person who gave the death rattle. Occasionally, we'll see comments like this subject was of unknown repute, or this recording is not necessarily trustworthy, because sometimes the people realize that they're being recorded and they don't want to share what they're seeing. Let's talk about this. So 1, the love of men is a frigid thing. One of the things you're going to see very quickly is sometimes things that seem like metaphors are not metaphors. Sometimes the use of male and female does not necessarily mean male or female. It can just mean person. So immediately I'm thinking, is this men, or are we including singers as well in this, right? That's an interesting question to consider, because it could just be the love of people, could even be spren. I could imagine if this was from the perspective of a spren, they could be saying the love of men is a frigid thing, a mountain stream only 3 steps from the ice. Because if you think about spoilers for Words of Radiance, We do learn that the shard blades are frozen spren. So the love of men connecting with the spren, which when broken, freezes you into place. It's possible. And then the big piece, we are his, O Stormfather, we are his. It is but 1,000 days and the Everstorm comes. Spoilers for the ends of Words of Radiance, but the most likely interpretation here is the we are his is referencing odium. O Stormfather, we are his. It is but 1,000 days and the Everstorm comes. And we do know chronologically that this is happening, being recorded, 1171, approximately 1,200 days before the Everstorm does come. One possibility, if we're going to be starting to really dig into things, is that this person is writing well in the future. This is going to be spoiler theory crafting for Wind and Truth at this point. But it is possible that we're going to end up in a world where Dalinar has become effused. And so it's saying, O Stormfather, we are his. So Stormfather, we are Dalinar's. We are in Dalinar's hand. Could be, O Stormfather, we are Odium's. And we are in his hands. And maybe this is a time when as I theorize, where the Stormfather will not be coming with the high storms anymore. It'll just be the Everstorm, and perhaps there would be 1,000 days in between the Weeping and the next Everstorm. Certainly a terrifying prospect. So that's our first death rattle. Let me know if you have any thoughts about whether we've seen this already. Is it just the Everstorm? Certainly possible. But I want to go through this journey through the Cosmere with you, watching for all the quandaries we can get there as we go. And I'm looking forward to talking about every single death rattle on Tuesday mornings. We'll be posting these videos. Look forward to talking with you. Let's wander and find out.